Let's get right into this explainer covering what was, frankly, a completely monumental World Cup clash. Look, imagine the pressure here. Portugal versus Croatia. For the squads, it's about surviving the round of 32. But for football history, it's the closing of a truly spectacular era. So let's just dive straight into exactly what went down on that chaotic, beautiful evening in Ontario.
We've got to start immediately with the massive reality hanging over this match. The first whistle at the last dance for someone at a World Cup 100-plus cap group. When you hear a quote like that, you just know you're witnessing a literal lifetime of dedication culminating in 90 minutes. The tension right at that first whistle wasn't just palpable, it was historic. I mean, everybody watching around the globe knew exactly what was on the line here.
We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal's absolutely relentless talisman, going head-to-head against Luka Modric, Croatia's midfield maestro. Over a decade of battling it out for club and country, all coming down to this. Only one of these legends gets to keep their World Cup dream alive. They've totally defined a generation of football, and tonight it was a battle for absolute survival.
Act 1. The stakes and the stalemate.
So, the first half in Toronto, it was an incredibly tense, physical chess match. Portugal pushed hard right out of the gate. Bruno Fernandes surged into the box, but he was denied by just a brilliant save from Dominik Livakovic. And you could see the frustrations boiling over. Ruben Dias picked up a yellow from a strictly-by-the-book referee, while Nuno Mendes was out there trying desperately to stretch the Croatian defense with these vigorous driving crosses.
But despite all that relentless attacking effort and those fierce midfield battles, we hit halftime at a deadlock 0. It's that classic reality of knockout football, isn't it? The fear of making a fatal mistake often just outweighs the desire to take a massive risk.
Act 2. The fireworks.
Now, if the first half was a tactical standoff, the second half delivered pure footballing chaos. The action accelerated instantly. Mateo Kovacic drove right through the defense and smashed the side netting. Moments later, Croatia actually broke the deadlock. But Portugal's response? Lightning fast. Rafael Leo unleashed this brilliant strike that just smashed right off the woodwork.
Let's actually break down that opening Croatian goal, because it reveals a shocking defensive lapse. It starts out totally harmlessly with a throw-in on the opposite side of the field. But then, Portugal's defense completely disconnects. They just freeze, giving Josip Stanisic vast acres of space on the right to deliver an absolutely perfect cross. And waiting right at the back post is veteran Ivan Perisic, who slots it home, putting Ronaldo's World Cup survival in very serious jeopardy.
As you can imagine, Portugal's desperation reached a total boiling point. For one fleeting, euphoric second, Cristiano Ronaldo thought he had the equalizer, beautifully clipping the ball past the keeper. But up goes the offside flag. Just a painfully close call that instantly silenced the Portuguese celebrations, keeping Croatia in the lead.
The turning point. VAR drama unfolds.
Just when Croatia seemed entirely in control, an in-swinging corner from Nuno Mendes triggered the match's most pivotal moment. The ball touches off Leao at the back post, looked seemingly harmless, right? But VAR initiates a review for a potential hold. The referee goes over to the monitor and catches Croatia's number 13 holding his opponent with both arms. The result? A massive game-changing penalty awarded to Portugal. And it all comes down to this incredible one-on-one showdown. Cristiano Ronaldo, literally carrying the weight of his nation's hopes, staring down Dominik Livakovic. This is a goalkeeper historically feared for his uncanny ability to save penalties. It's the classic unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. But Ronaldo holds his nerve. He confidently converts right past the penalty specialist, tying the game at 1-1. That crucial strike completely wiped the slate clean. It reset the entire momentum for a frantic final act.
Act 3. Stoppage time chaos.
The final minutes of this game devolved into absolute madness. Just look at this sequence. Kovacic unleashes a strike, hits the post, follows it up, and it's barely tipped over. Then Croatia scores, only for it to be ruled offside. The whiplash was real. Suddenly, on the counter, Leao plays a brilliant early ball, and a Portuguese super sub rises up to power a header into the net. Portugal takes the lead completely out of nowhere.
But Croatia refuses to die. Deep into stoppage time, Perisic wins the ball, sends in one last desperate cross, and it finds the back of the net. As the commentators were screaming, it's an equalizer with surely the last kick of the game. Croatian heart soared. Survival felt like a literal miracle.
However, that soaring hope instantly turned to devastating heartbreak for Croatia as VAR stepped in one last agonizing time. Let's trace the precision of this final ruling. The cross comes in through pure chaos in the box, but VAR utilizes that sensor technology inside the ball, essentially a heartbeat monitor for touches. This tech identifies a microscopic clear touch from Croatia's Igor Matanovic, player number 20, before it reached the scorer. And because of that 1 millimeter touch, the offside position is confirmed. The equalizer is entirely erased.
Which brings us to the brutal final reality, 2-1. After that heart-wrenching VAR decision, the referee just lets the final seconds tick away. Portugal survives an absolute roller coaster. Honestly, if you were watching this live, you likely needed to catch your breath just as much as the players did.
As the dust finally settles in Toronto, we are left with this stark, deeply emotional contrast. Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup journey continues. Portugal gives him at least one more outing on the game's biggest stage. But on the other side, it is sadly journey's end for Luka Modric. It's an incredibly emotional moment as the Croatian legend sees his international career at the World Cup officially come to a close.
We've just watched the literal definition of the end of an era. So as this last dance concludes, with one icon advancing and another gracefully bowing out, it leaves us with a massive question to ponder. Whose legacy will ultimately leave a greater mark on the beautiful game?